City Commission meeting for Thursday, February the 11th, 2021. First, we will have our invocation led by Commissioner Arias. I'll lead the Pledge of Allegiance, so please stand. Remove your hats.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the gift of family, friends, love, and community. We ask that you be with us tonight as we come together to do the work of the city of Tucumcari. We ask that your healing hands please remain upon our state and upon our country and our world. For the sake of his sorrowful passion, have mercy on us and on the whole world. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Mayor Litchfield.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Here.
Commissioner Moya.
Here.
Commissioner Guerrera.
Here.
Commissioner Arias.
Here.
Okay. First on the agenda is a public hearing. It's a consideration of the transferring of a liquor license for VW and Gas and Convenience Retail License 0805. We have had a letter and application from for VW and Gas used, and it's at Allsup's on First Street. Do I have any questions, concerns? Okay. There being none, do you have any, Mark, anything you want to say?
No, ma'am, I have somebody online. I was gonna see if they're gonna speak
Okay.
on behalf of that. Sir, were you calling in to speak on behalf of the public hearing for the liquor license?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
My name's Robert Marufo. I'm a 20-year regional
He needs to be
manager.
sworn in.
Yeah, we have to swear him in.
Mr. Marufo.
And convenience retail.
Sir, could I get you to be sworn in by the city clerk?
Yes.
And his name is Robert Marufo.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Marufo, if you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me, please.
Yes, ma'am.
I, Robert Marufo,
I, Robert Marufo,
swear and affirm
swear and affirm
that the testimony I'm about to give
the testimony that I'm about to give
is the truth and nothing but the truth,
is the truth and nothing but the truth
under penalty of law.
under penalty of law.
Thank you.
Ma'am.
Okay, now, go ahead.
If you want to go ahead and give your comments now, Mr. Marufo.
We're seeking to transfer a liquor license from store number 58, license number 0805 to the VW Gas and Convenience Retail. It stays at the exact same location and it is the exact same name also.
Okay.
This name and the house about that.
Yes, gonna stay under the name of Allsup's, I take it.
That's correct, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The store will, but the liquor license will be transferred.
Right, the liquor license will be transferred, right. Right. Do I have anyone else? Any other comments, questions?
No, ma'am, just like to reiterate, this liquor license was already in that same location. They meet all the zoning requirements. It's commercially zoned, so at that point, on behalf of the city, I don't see any issues with this.
Okay. If there's no other discussion, I would call for a vote. So entertain a motion to accept this transfer.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the transfer of the liquor license under license number 0805. I'll second the motion.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Good.
Commissioner Guerrera.
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes.
Thank Thank you, Mr. Marufo.
May I be dismissed?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Sir, certainly may. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's shut everything down.
Okay. You want us to turn off our?
Turn off your mics. Wait a second. Should we do that as well? I think last time the public hearing where it was on 2 different YouTube sessions.
We'll just roll it on there. Were you talking about the mic or
The,
No, I think we're fine.
okay. Yeah, I already turned the mic on.
I did a bunch of them. Shut it, added on. First thing that I redo with the electric truck first one. For the electric cars.
Yes, well,
Let's get a recorder
All
back
right,
on.
let's turn our mics back on.
And recorders are on, everyone.
All right. Next on the agenda are there considerations of changes or deletions to the agenda?
No, ma'am, no changes tonight.
Okay, there being none, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call please.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Next on the agenda is public comments. Citizens wanting to speak during this time must sign in prior to the start of the meeting. Public comments is an opportunity for citizens to comment on non-agenda items. This is not for discussion nor questions and answers. They will be given 3 minutes to speak. So, first on our agenda is Mr. Tony Aragon.
My name is Tony Aragon. I would like to see if an ordinance at the cemetery could be amended some way to where I could plant a couple of trees. I had some trees that were killed by the bark beetle a couple of years ago on my parents' graves. And I would like to replace them because they dried up. And also my wife passed away almost a year ago. And in that section where she's at, there are no trees, nothing, at all. And I would like to plant a couple of trees there. They're native to our area, they're pinon trees. And I would like to see if there could be some sort of an amendment of this ordinance for permission to do so.
All right, we're having a work session next week, or at the next, meeting on ordinances, so we will look at it and take it under consideration at that time.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. So Mark, be sure that ordinance is at our work session.
Yes, ma'am. And Alec and I have been discussing that. It's already
Okay,
earmarked to make sure we get that in next meeting.
okay, thank you. All right, agenda. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is approved in a single motion. Any member of the commission may request an item be transferred to the regular agenda from the consent without discussion or vote. And the items on the consent agenda, are the approval of the January 28th, 2021 commission work session notes and the commission meeting of the same date. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So just real quick, I do want to add that I did do these minutes on our new iCompass software. I found it a lot easier to hear, to understand. So if you found that they look different, that's the reason why. I did visit with our rep with iCompass, and there's a couple of changes that we want to make. But other than that, once we go electronic, this is how the minutes are going to look. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that
So
to your
these are,
attention.
okay, these are the minute, okay. All right,
We're trying to make them look as similar as we can to what we were doing before. So that's why there may be a couple of different changes here in the next few commission meetings until we get it right.
all right,
Okay?
okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll go ahead and second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias,
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
Okay, that's, I thought they looked different, and I thought, am I looking at the right thing?
Yeah, no, but
Because of all the, I thought, didn't remember. Okay, thank you.
And so just keep in mind that once all of this is in place, we will work on going electronic for everybody, so binders will be
Okay.
non-existent, yes. So-
Sorry, Ralph.
That makes me nervous.
There's a couple of things that need to happen before we can actually do that, but, Mark and I are working on making that happen, so. In the very near future, so you
Okay.
guys may wanna start practicing.
Okay,
You won't have to worry about it then,
right.
because it'll be on your computer. Or is that what you can't find?
That's what yeah,
That's not good.
You got it someplace.
right. All right, next on the agenda is ordinances and resolutions. Resolution 2021-04, which is authorizing approval for the donation of real property to the Tucumcari Public Schools.
Yes, ma'am, I'll be presenting that. So this is a long-awaited resolution for us to finally donate the real property to the Tucumcari Public Schools. It consists of the current baseball field and the 3 softball fields. There's 2 that have been established, which we typically call Field 1 and Field 2. And then there's the back furthest towards the west softball field, which never had lights or anything installed on it. So that property will be donated to the schools with the understanding that we must all come to an agreement on the real estate donation agreement. And that's what spells out what the city gets in return. So realistically, this will not be complete until the meeting on February 25th. At this point, once this, if this gets approved tonight, we'll move forward and I will be in contact with the public schools and we'll go back and forth so they can see what we expect and see what they expect. And just putting some safeties in place, make sure utilities aren't interrupted during the time of construction. That is clear we still have access to some of the tangible goods that are on that property existing now. We want to make sure we could repurpose those for the Little League fields, the bleachers, the canopies and whatnot. So with that being said, this is the resolution just to approve the transfer of the property, but everything will be fine-tuned in that agreement, which I hope to have February 25th.
Okay. Commissioner Arias, you have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Just a few, so just to clarify, so the property is that we're gonna retain, they're just gonna be those Little League fields to the far south, correct?
Correct.
And I trust you to sit there and get the details hashed out of easements and everything else, so I'll wait to see that on the next meeting. I was just wanting to clarify, it was brought to my attention that it might not have been that way, but if it's that way, I'm fine with it.
No, it's definitely that way. We've been working on this for some time. There's some holdups through the state side of things. We've since gotten approval from them. We're waiting on the appraisal. The appraisal is complete. The next step is a resolution, and then the final portion before we, of course, we close on property and issue deeds and whatnot is going to be that real estate property agreement. Again, like I said, the city, we have no issues. I know I don't as a city manager getting this into the hands of the schools, but we need to have some safeties put in place as well as to stimulate our our economy, to hopefully attract some larger, nice tournaments, whether it's T-ball or a Little League, you name it. We want to make sure that the city has access to do that, considering we are donating land to the schools.
Yes, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis, any questions?
Is this gonna, hopefully we have a Little League season this year, is that gonna affect anything? Or is it still a ways before they do any kind of construction?
It shouldn't. Things I'm hearing from the grapevine, I haven't had any direct conversation with the schools or the athletic association at this point, but there will be some sports that will be kicking up. So I imagine they will not start construction on this till the summertime, which would be Little League time. But that's why it's stated in the agreement on my side. I haven't pushed it to them yet, but there cannot be any interruptions where we're still allowed to be able to do what we need to on the Little League side. And whether it's utilities for watering, electricity for lights, if we have to put a construction fence up to separate the two to make it safe, we'll do that. But we are allowed to have Little League. Most definitely, we need to be able to have access to that without any interruption.
And this agreement's gonna make sure that, nobody can go back on anything, because I know during the discussions, we want to make sure that the city still had access and all that other stuff. And I'm all for the schools getting better equipment, but I wanna make sure that, you know, it's a win-win for both sides of the parties.
I agree.
Commissioner Moya?
I think most of it, what my concern was the egress and regress and the utility easement, and like I said before, the city owns 100% of the control right now, so it's really up to us how we're gonna, what we're gonna give up and what we're gonna retain. So actually it's there. And you're looking at the two south, fields on the south part of the field, right? So the other thing you look at is the fact is, do we have a plan to keep those fields up? Because, you know, they are in need of some sort of repair and care, especially if you look at the restrooms and in that area. The city's gonna have to do something to renovate all that park to make it, I mean, we can't have the school have an extremely nice facility and ours look pretty bad, you know, so we're gonna have to look and see, what's in the bed, I mean, how we're gonna upgrade that facility, especially now that we're giving up this park. The restrooms are either gonna have to be, I don't know if we even have any left in that field. I haven't been up there to look at anything up there. But I think either we're gonna have to build some or renovate what we have out there. I can't remember, I haven't been up there.
The restrooms are recently renovated within the last 2-3 years, I believe, through the YCC. It was one of their projects. It might have been 4 years, but they're better than they were. There's been some vandalism, and when things occur like that, we've gone through and replaced what we needed to. But yeah, most definitely, we need to make sure that we're providing what we need to the Little League side of things.
Yes, and that's the only concern I have, because if we can't even keep up with it, maybe we need to do some sort of agreement for the school to take it over 100% and we wind up having the right to do particularly games, you know, but if we can maintain and keep them up, that's a different story. Because right now, the way the city goes, it seems like we can't keep up with much of anything. So that's my biggest concern. Of course, like I said before, the egress and regress and utilities and easements are all in our hands, and it's up to us to make sure we guard those, because we have the 100% control on it right now until we sign the final dotted line. Okay.
Right, Commissioner Villanueva?
I don't have nothing, man. He
Okay.
answered everything.
All right, so I would entertain a motion to accept this ordinance 2021-04.
I'll make a motion, we accept resolutions 2021-04.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Arias?
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
Yes.
Commissioner Moya?
Yes.
Commissioner Gamera?
Yes.
And I did want to bring it to your all's attention that on this resolution, it does say that if for some reason the parties aren't able to reach a mutual agreement, that this resolution is rescinded. So that's also to protect us as well.
Right. Okay. Next on the agenda is bids and contracts. The Tucumcari Airport Runway 3-21 Rehab Project, Task Order Number 7.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. We're ready to get started on our next airport project. This is the agreement to start the design for the 321 seal coat project. It's funded federally 90%, NMDOT Aviation Division 5%, and the city 5%. The engineering for a total of $56,717.54 without gross receipts tax. This one just goes through and opens up the cracks on the runway, seals them, then we put a seal coat over it and remark the markings on it. So not a huge job. I don't know what the total is going to be at as we go out to bid, do the design, go out to bid, and then the federal portion will kick in. We'll apply for the federal portion once we know how much it's going to cost. So the state portion is already in place for this.
Okay.
Is there any questions?
Commissioner Villanueva, you have any questions?
Okay.
Okay, Commissioner Moya?
Not at this point.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis?
No.
Okay, Commissioner Arias?
And I, yes, ma'am. So I do see you have the amount budgeted. correct? Our match?
This portion is. We haven't done the federal portion yet, so it's not.
Okay, and I may have asked before, but how are the funds generated for these kind of improvements with the airport?
For which portion of it?
So for our match, how's that 11,700 generated?
Our share is actually $3,060.05, and I am not sure where that comes from, Commissioner. That's done at City Hall.
Okay,
Don't we have some fees up there that sometimes don't?
So we do some of that, revenues generated to this fuel sales, sales.
so our portion is the 3,060.05?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Rob.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to accept this bid or this contract.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the contract for task order 7 on the runway 321 rehab project.
Do I have a second?
I'll go ahead and say it, man.
Okay, roll call.
Mayor Litchfield,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis,
Yes.
Commissioner Moya,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ralph. Next on the agenda is the city manager's report.
Thank you. The mayor and I had the privilege of speaking with Congresswoman Fernandez again. It went well. We were able
I took
to,
all the notes.
so if you're going to speak on that, I won't touch on that too much other
No,
than
you go ahead.
we were able to express some of our concerns here in the city with some of the small businesses and the hard times we faced with COVID and everything going on. So we relay that. Nothing's promised, of course, but she threw out some figures that she's hoping to get some money circulated back into Tucumcari based on COVID needs. We also talked about some of the needs with infrastructure again. That went well. And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave some for the mayor. I know you got some notes on it.
Oh, I just had written down who all talked all the time. Barely let us in. I finally had to say, hey, Tucumcari is here. We'd like to talk. So anyway.
And it's,
Actually, on that plan that President Biden has, there's a lot of money allocated for the purpose of infrastructure through small communities. This is the first time that we have seen some money available for communities, if you follow the thing on the money that they're proposing on the 3 for smaller communities. Usually they're up in the higher level of population communities, and this is for infrastructure. It's the first time that I have seen where there's going to be a lot of money allocated for small communities like ours, which I hope she can help us benefit from it.
and that's what I relayed specifically, that there's been funding opportunities in the past, but what's always difficult for us is the matching portion. A lot of the times nowadays, you're stuck with more of a loan and a little bit of a grant. So she said she's going to do what she can to work on her end to make sure those smaller communities, they're at the poverty level with the low, moderate income, like we are in Tucumcari, that they either waive that or it's 100% grant. So we discussed the difficulties with that as well. Great conversation. I mean, to be able to talk to her 2 times within that short period of time, it seems like she's receptive. And I hope she comes through with what she's discussing. It's good to have that personal relationship, and she does have some ties here in Tucumcari. So I'm hoping she'll do what she's saying. So I look forward to that. And some other things going on. Filming recently wrapped up. We had an independent filming here in Tucumcari. They stood here over a week. So that was nice to be able to have that. They're staying in local motels, using local gas stations, using local catering. So it was nice to get some of that filtered back into the community. And I wanted to thank our fire and EMS, our streets department, our police department, and the Quay County Sheriff's Department for helping with traffic control during those filming events. And it sounds like filming is becoming a thing in Tucumcari. Everybody's starting to hear about it. We rolled out the red carpet for this independent film. They really appreciated it, and the ease to film here compared to the other places they've been at. And the buzz is as far as LA, all over. I'm hearing people reaching out, 5 to 6 other productions interested in filming either in Tucumcari or in the county. So this is a market we've never really tapped into. So we're doing what we can now when these filming productions are in Tucumcari to show them, hey, look, we're a good place to film. So I'm excited about that. Some other things I wanted to touch on was, thankfully, we were able to move in from the red to the yellow for the county. With that being said, restaurants are now able to be open indoor dining at 25%. And one thing I like to, that I'm happy about here internally with the city, we've talked about this briefly, and we're going to go ahead and open the public library on Tuesday. So I'm excited to get that going. We'll also be opening our local museum, the Historical Museum, and I will reach out and talk to the Route 66 Museum to do the same as well. Get some, hopefully get some tourists to filter in through those locations again. Another thing to note is Coronado Park is now open on Thursdays from noon to 4. So those individuals that have some landscaping or some projects are able to go dump their tree limbs out there, tree limbs only. And we will be closed on Monday, February 15th in observance of President's Day. So that's all city offices, all city departments, including the landfill. The only thing that will be open is, of course, those on call with public works that have to get their job done, as well as public safety. But other than that, everybody else will be closed. And I believe that is all I have.
Okay, good. All right, next on the agenda is items from commissioners. Commissioner Dunaway, we're gonna start with you tonight.
Alright.
Gonna go backwards on the alphabetical order.
Okay, I got one question for the manager. I had a call today about the cemetery. Did you guys ever get the pumps for the sprinklers or anything?
So we're actually working on it, and Alec and I were discussing it today. We need to make sure that the quote is comparing apples to apples. One quote had quite a few things listed out and the other was minimal, so we are working on it. I think we could get that hashed out and maybe get some clarification from the person giving the quote, the proposal. And once we get that hashed out, it'll be ordered. There is some turnaround time on it. Unfortunately, it takes a while to get here, but as promised, we'll be getting that soon. So we're close.
Okay, another thing, I had a gentleman call me complaining about trash dumping. And they want to know if the officers can patrol more during the day, and almost towards the night, in these places where they're dumping couches and
Oh, okay. That kind, yeah.
So
mattresses.
illegally dumping at locations. So the one thing that I would request is if there's specific locations that those are relayed to the police department. Of course, they have to prioritize their calls. If something's happening and there's a theft, there's a domestic dispute, if there's something going on, of course, they're gonna have to deal with that first. But they are out there patrolling and doing what they can. Unfortunately, with the staff, we can't be at all places at once. But if there's some specific locations, we can do our best to get the officers out there and try to keep an eye on things.
And have you heard anything about the pothole machine or?
Yes, sir. So they're still ordering parts and working on it to get that up and going. In the meantime, they have in certain locations put either millings or some kind of cold mix that they had access to. Things have been difficult still with the cold weather. It's gonna get colder, so I don't imagine they'll be able to do a whole lot. But as soon as we get those parts and everything fixed, we'll be back at it again with that hot patch machine.
And there was one more. Are you gonna open the rec center?
No, not at this time. According to the public health order, all close contact recreational type events, sports, things of that nature, they're still to be closed, even all the way up through the green level. So at this time, I have no intention to do so.
Okay. Another question, how about, I don't know if I'm supposed to ask this, raises for the employees?
We'll be discussing that during budget talks, but realistically, what we're facing and with the minimum wage going up and everything else going on, I'd say it's not realistic. We're trying to get down to that zero budget. So at now, it's not certain, but I'd say it's not looking great at this point.
I just wanna thank the road crew department. They actually fixed some nice holes in front of my house and around the blocks and stuff. And, that's about it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Commissioner Moya?
I got a complaint today about, a resident, from, I guess they call up in Campbell and Sixth Street on the north side. There's a home there on Campbell and Sixth. She didn't give me the right address. I don't know. She said, what's happening is, I guess there's a lot of trash all over the yard and all over the place. I guess the neighbors complained about it. I told them I'll bring it in a public meeting so she'll know it's on record. The other thing is that they have a dog there that is tied down, and she felt that that was a little cruel there for the animal, and especially with this cold weather and everything. Their concern was that this poor animal was going to be, they never, I guess it's neglected or something. I don't know. I didn't go up there, so I wouldn't know. But there was a complaint by one of the residents that lived right there, and they were very concerned what the city could do about it.
Has she attempted to reach out to the police department or the animal control?
She said she made complaints, but I think she said that it fell on deaf ears, like always. She said. That was her code.
That's always the first thing I would recommend, that any complaints for that department, that they go to the department head first, and if they can't get it resolved at that level, then they escalate it up to the city manager, and I can do it. I can on my end.
Well, that's what she said. It fell on deaf ears, so I don't know, take it from there. So if you can address it, I told her I put it in the public meeting so that she knows that I brought it to the attention in case that it is not addressed, okay? The other question I have, in 2017, we had a study by Nathan Wallace and also Garcia on the police department, and this is why I've been wanting to meet with you to go over that report. And they had a huge amount of recommendation in reference to our police department. They had some ordinance, they had some, was it ordinance and there were some ordinance and resolutions, I think. One was 2005, the other 2000 something, I can't remember, that they felt were conflicting in that report. They had really good information. The thing about it is that it's amazing enough, as I recall that report, it was very clear on it that there was a lot of dysfunction in that department. And because of the things being complained to me, I wondered, have you ever gone over at that time, it wasn't this chief of police, but it was another chief of police that we had at that time. But we paid a lot of money for that recommendation and for that study to be done. Do you know what happened? Did it go on the sideline? Because I never heard of anything being corrected or being done about that report. And we paid a lot of money for the taxpayers paid a lot of money. We should go out, and that's why I wanted to meet with you to go over it, see if any of this is being corrected. By what I read on the report, I don't think that it's a lot of things are still not correct.
I'll have to, if you have a copy of that report, if you could get it.
You have a copy because it's on public record here. We paid for it, and they think, and that's why I wanted to meet with you, but you don't seem to ever have time for it. So. I think maybe we need to put it in our work session and go over that complete study. I think it's a very important study. It had a lot of good points on there, and it was real positive on how we could improve our police department, especially the communication between law enforcers and reports and the way that we're writing the reports. There was a lot of good information on that study. So see if you can find it, and I would like Mayor to put it on a work session so we can review it. Because I see some of the complaints here that some of the commissioners bring that have been addressed in that report. So whenever we can, when can we put it on the agenda for our work session?
Well, the next work session's pretty busy, but we have to put it on one after that,
Sometime in March.
sometime in March.
Okay, and then get the copy, you can give the commissioners.
Give us
I know
all-
Commissioner Duplantis and Audius were not on the commission when this report came out in 2017, so. And a good report, and it really had a lot of good points, good information, and especially when I heard the chief say that abandoned boat on the street, that it wasn't his job, you know. And this report addresses some of that stuff that I feel is important for us to go over. That's all I got today.
Okay. All right, Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Thank you, Mr. Aragon, for coming in tonight. I don't have a whole lot. I think a lot of people have realized, seen that we've had a lot of things going on up and down the boulevard with businesses and stuff. It was very exciting, with the movie company down here. They left here, really ecstatic on how Tucumcari treated them. And as the city manager was saying, they do plan on going back and they would like to use Tucumcari again, this particular company. They were really pleased from the stay, the people, and the food, that they are anxious to come back by this way, and they are gonna be talking to some of their cohorts up in LA. A lot of businesses are back open. It's a great thing. Let's be respectful and mindful of what we still have going on. That way, we can maintain being open. And be patient over the next couple of days. A lot of businesses weren't prepared, because we didn't know what was gonna happen until the last minute, so be patient. If they're out of something, just, they'll have it soon. And, but, hey, let's move forward. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Arias?
Thank you, Mayor. So just talking about the film crew, I was coming in from Clovis and I got stuck behind a sheriff's deputy escorting him through, and I couldn't help but think, oh man, what's going on? I was being pretty puzzled, and I turned around, and it was pretty nice to see them actually out and about. So I might be in the movie, I don't know.
There you go.
Reiterating, it's great to see that things are finally turning around in Clay County and in Tucumcari. I think we still have some work to be done. Definitely be warm this next couple of days. It's going to be dangerously cold. Please be careful and stay warm there. With that, Mark, has there been any communication with the emergency manager in case there's any disruptions in services, or if I interstates get shut down or anything?
Not at this point. We haven't had any direct communication on that yet, just about other topics, but not the weather this weekend.
And I'm sure he's on it. I mean, the last couple of times he's been very responsive. Just wanted to make sure. The past 24 hours have been a busy 24 hours. I received several phone calls. I just want to put it out there. I do appreciate the phone calls. If you do have concerns, I can always be reached just as well as everyone else. I know everyone likes to answer their phones and answer emails, so I actually feel like I've done my job this past couple times. So I look forward to our next work session, where we'll be discussing the proposal from Ria Serna, as well as the ordinance down at the cemetery. If memory serves me right, I believe the cemetery board has already weighed in on that issue. If we might be able to get some records back on that meeting for that work session as well. Now, if maybe it's minutes, or if you have anything lying around from that meeting, that'd be perfect. But just stay warm, and that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. I'd just like to thank everyone in Clay County and Tucumcari for wearing masks and helping us get into the yellow, and yay. So let's keep at it. We did have a great conversation with Congresswoman Fernandez, and she does have concerns about the east side and the rural communities, and we appreciate that. She mentioned that we probably wouldn't get it, but we were up for possibly $1 million, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we probably wouldn't get the whole $1 million, but maybe we get most of it.
In COVID relief or infrastructure?
For COVID relief.
Yeah, for COVID relief, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that's what I thought. Okay. That was money for the restaurants and small businesses. And anyway, we did appreciate that. We got all of her email, and it is nice and she wants to continue having these Zoom meetings with the mayors. There was the mayor from Portales and the mayor pro tem from Clovis. The mayor from Clovis had to take his dad to the doctor's office, so he didn't get to join us. But anyway, and then there was county manager was there, and Mark. Tucumcari had the most representation. So, but once you get Clovis and Portales to talking, they think they're the only ones around on the eastern side of the state.
Bang that drum a little louder.
That's right. So I just said, hey, we're here too. We need to talk. So, but anyway, this cold front that's coming in, they're giving all kinds of warnings. Supposed to start tomorrow night. Could be in the -7. Could have as much as 8 inches of snow. Please bring your animals in and keep them warm. This hurts my heart. Someone posted, said if you don't think it's cold, go out and sit with them without a coat on for about 30 minutes and see how you survive.
Oh, yeah, that's what that lady was complaining about. She's
Yes.
worried about cold.
And so please bring them in. It was nice to have the filming. It was funny to get all the phone calls about what's going on down around Tractor Supply. What's going on down at Tractor Supply with all the ambulances and the fire department. And so I had to call Mark and say, what in the world is going on? And so, but it was nice to have the business in town. Thank you, Todd. I know you were catering. And so, you're helping spread the good news in Tucumcari. Karen, did we ever find that Brindle? No. Wow. Well, I checked at the city and they said they did not have her, so there's a Brindle, pit that's loose.
Oh, yeah.
And so, anyway, with this cold weather, I worry about the animals.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you.
Mayor, I had a question. On the workshop next weekend, I have you, this is on the vacant building, have the Main Street, notify some of the people that might be affected by it?
I don't know, I'll have to talk to
I
you.
think that's only important, and then they wonder why people get mad at us because we don't notify them about things like that. I think it's important that if the Main Street's gonna do it, they should notify people that can have a say-so.
Right.
And then when we go do it, and then all of a sudden everybody's mad at us.
Maybe we need to contact Connie about that, about,
Oh, yeah, because I think that's only important. The other thing is, that in 2 weeks, we'll have on the police thing, the workshop.
it'll be in March.
Okay.
The next work session's gonna be on the ordinance.
Yeah, and then following March.
Sometime in March, we'll do the police thing.
Okay, because I would like to see that, go over it with this.
Okay, and again, Mr. Aragon, thank you for coming in. We'll work on that ordinance and see.
May
what-
I say something else?
Sure.
These trees donated to,
Could you come over to the mic, please? Thank you.
like I said before, they're pinon trees and they're native to this area.
Right.
They don't require very much water, and I do my own maintenance on the trees. I've done them all the time. The trees that were, killed by that bug, when I planted them, they were like 2 foot tall. When they died, they were already like 12 foot tall.
Okay.
And, no.
Right.
So
We'll see what we can do.
thank you.
Sure. Thank you for coming, bringing it to our attention. I would entertain a motion to
So just
adjourn.
before, Mayor, just real quick, just for clarification, we have on February 25th, the work session at 4:00.
Right.
And then we're looking at the first commission meeting in March to have a work session as well. Tucumcari Historical Research Institute has reached out to me and asked that they would like to meet with the commission regarding their board and the museum.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe putting them on that work session as well. And so with that and what was the other one?
The police.
Right.
Mhm.
Maybe,
Another
do you guys want to
4
start
o'clock.
at 4:00 again?
Sounds good?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so, February 25th at 4 and also the first one in March at 4.
Okay. All right. Now I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Duplantis.
Yes.
Commissioner Moya.
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva.
Yes.
Commissioner Arias.
Yes.
Mayor Litchfield.
Yes.
Okay, reporters are